we are now live streaming on desktop, and we can actually share screen. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to actually share screen from the movie. So I got the film on Amazon Prime. And you know what Amazon does? They're very clever.
Tell me.
If you try to share screen and it's playing in the browser, it will not play. It will just be a black screen. That's how clever they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
you know what? I remember I tried to, I think, screenshot something on Amazon Prime or one of the
yes,
streaming platforms, and the screenshot is black.
yeah.
So they know, which I think, like, the screenshot is extreme. I kind of get it if they don't want you to share with other people if you're live streaming, but literally they block screenshots. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I was thought we would sit here and, like, laugh at some of the funny scenes, but we can't do that. There's gotta be a way around it. There's gotta be a
Well, probably if you have like a pirated version of it, there would be a way to do that. I wonder if that's yeah, all streaming sites or if it's just Amazon or I mean, I would
No, I think
imagine they're
some of
probably all
yeah,
doing this.
I think they probably all do that. But anyways, we do have the share screen feature. I will use it at some point. I thought at some point there's a Ross Douthat, art review of this, movie, a National Review. Have you seen it?
I don't think I saw that one.
Okay. I've got it up here. I haven't read it either, but we can, like, read it while,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
we
Live reaction to text.
yeah, yeah,
Is that we're so highbrow. You
it's a
know, most
short
reaction videos, it's like, you're watching a clip, but we're so highbrow that we're live reacting to written text to an essay
Yes,
by
I wanna do
famous
more
New
of
York
that.
Times.
Well, we have everything. Now Substack has everything. We can live stream from the desktop. We can plan. We can set ahead and create a link from ahead, which you couldn't do for a while. You could do that, and you can share screen, and you could do it with another person. I've been bothering them of, like, there's, like, 5 different things I've been bothering them, and they finally hit them all. So we're in Substack. We're in live stream heaven right now.
We owe it all to you, Richard. Yeah, we
Wow, you go, well, yeah, 1,700. Oh, yeah, I was okay, cool. We people
this
are
is
interested in it.
probably the largest, live because you and I have done these before. I think we did it for David Lynch, Mulholland Drive a while back, and we got a
Mm.
few hundred. I think this is the largest live
Yeah, yeah.
stream, we've done.
Well, I was promoting it on Tw I made the link a week ago, and I just left it up. I made it the, pinned tweet for a while.
Did you
Uh,
make that accompanying graphic too, or do you have a
I have a guy who just does
okay.
stuff like that for me.
Nice. Yeah, yeah. I have a guy too for these graphics. No, I thought that was very well done, very tasteful.
Yeah. So anyways, this movie, from the critics, like, I didn't know what this was before. And, like, from the discourse, I thought it would try to be, like, sophisticated. Like, I thought, like, oh, the Oscars, they get, like, all these nominations. I thought it would be some kind of, like, deep reflection on the Black condition, something that, like, people thought was, like, great art or something like that, or at least would try to make that effort. But it really didn't. It was like a feel good zombie movie, with, like, the most, like, cliche racism, kind of ideas, right? Like, oh, here's the Klan. Okay, here's a Native American who has magical powers and is going to get the zombie. Here are the racists. Um, yeah, I was entertained by it. I thought it was a fun watch. But yeah, it wasn't very sophisticated. What was your take on it?
I had high hopes for it because, I figured based on the reviews and the buzz and most people I spoke to, who aren't like, fully brain rotted, online rightists had generally good things to say about it. But then I started to get worried early on in the film, and you can speak to this, Richard. But there was a scene early on where who was it, Smoke, who had just gotten back from Chicago, and someone asked him, what's the big city like? And he says, Chicago's just like here, just with tall buildings. Basically saying like Chicago is equally racist as the Jim Crow South, but they just have fancy buildings out there. But don't fool yourself; it's just as racist out there as it is here. And you're from Chicago. Is it true that Chicago, is that the history of the city? Is that the perception of it? Because I thought, this seems like a cheap shot. Like the city's just as bad as the Jim Crow South.
I mean, probably not. I mean, I'm guessing they're probably less likely to lynch you and so forth if you go out with a white woman. Chicago is still a very segregated city. I would be. I mean, you would find racism, like, I'm sure. You wouldn't have Jim Crow though. So no, I think there's no way fairly you could say uh, that Chicago or the North is as but you will hear that from like you know who will make that argument? What like Confederates, like people who like want to defend the South, they'll be like, oh, we have like, our unique way of dealing with one another and we get along, and you Northerners are who want us to integrate are like the real racists. So I can imagine some like, Southern like white nationalists like watching that and getting and like clapping.
No, this is a weird horseshoe thing because on like among academics on the progressive left, you hear that too. But it's like, don't kid yourself. The North is just as bad as the South, and that's kind of like the what this scene in Sinners was alluding to. Like, now if you're a historian in academia and you defend Abraham Lincoln or you defend the North in the Civil War or something, you'll raise a lot of eyebrows. You're supposed to say like, yes, whatever the North won, but they still had their own version of racism that was equally as venomous and deadly
I
and
don't
so
know.
on.
I don't know if like academic leftists say that. Like, I
Oh,
don't know.
no, 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 they do. I mean,
Which
I've
ones?
been around them and asked them about this. Um, I mean, maybe the ones that I spoke to are overstating it,
Yeah,
but that
yeah.
was my
I mean,
impression.
the kind the academic left's version of kind of the Civil War and Reconstruction, it used to be, that Reconstruction was kind of bad and, like, was a disaster. This was, like, until the 1990s or maybe '80s, the academic consensus. But then it became a little bit more, PC, some progressive, and it became the idea was, no, the Reconstruction was actually the good guys, and it was bad to pull all the troops from the South. And so, it's there's like maybe a very nihilistic kind of liberal or leftist who says it's all the same. But I think like mainstream left, I don't know, like normal Democratic Party opera or something.
Oh, no, no, no. I think like
Mhm.
the sort of the typical
Yeah,
like registered Democrat is like and like most normie
yeah.
Americans, the right side won the Civil War or whatever. But what I'm saying is like on the like you mentioned like the racists in the South, and then I'm talking about kind of the whatever like the inverted racists on the academic left. But
Yeah.
um
When I was in uh, graduate school, like my statistics professor was this guy named James DiNardo, political scientist, and he would always use these examples of like racism, like to try to like to demonstrate statistical concepts, like this company doesn't hire this many blacks. Like, what are the odds that you would get that from chance or something like that? And he was very like it just he was like he wasn't like they were all the same. He was very like harsh towards the South. He's like the South, we call America democracy. The South was a one party apartheid state. He wouldn't say that about like the entire. He would single out the South. And so like leftists I do on university campuses, especially laws, people like law professors and stuff, because they know like the debates around voting rights and affirmative action and civil rights and stuff like that. So to them, there is a difference. Um, but yeah, this movie, I guess, like maybe that's the black director. Like maybe if you're like a black nationalist, like you just say it's all, like pox on all their houses. It's all bad.
Yeah. Yeah, did you so I didn't know this until I looked up the film later, but I didn't realize that the director of Sinners, Ryan Coogler, was also the director of Black Panther.
Uh huh.
Um, I don't know if you saw Black Panther or not.
I did.
I only
Yeah.
saw the first one, and I thought it was alright. And then, I saw the first Creed movie, which I enjoyed. That was what is that, 2015. So, yeah, I mean, he's made other films with Michael B. Jordan, and he's a Black director with, Black protagonists. And I didn't think that this was going to be like a woke film or something because I didn't think of Black Panther or Creed as particularly woke. I mean, maybe more so Black Panther than Creed, but yeah, these were like entertaining movies. I thought Sinners was fine. It was entertaining too. I mean, there was clearly a kind of angle to it.
Mm.
There was like a divide between the white vampires and then the non-white humans or whatever. They had like the Asian convenience store family,
Mm.
which I would love
Which
to
is
know
a weird,
just
very
how.
weird addition. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I thought it was weird enough, but then the fact that they spoke with Southern accents, like how many? I mean, I can imagine maybe that in the 1930s, or no, was it the 1920s that this took place?
It was the 20s,
Um,
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. That maybe somewhere in the deep south, some Chinese family or something owned a store out there somewhere, maybe. But they would almost certainly be immigrants, right? So they would have accents. But every single member of this Asian family spoke with like a Southern American kind of
But they're
accent,
very
just like everyone
assimilated too.
else.
They act exactly the same too. They're like, I'm negotiating with you. So they that girl like, you got a deal. Like they're just like
Yeah.
they're very absorbed in the culture. You're right. They must be the parents at least must be like second generation. So there was Chinese, the early 20th century, I guess, coming into America in California, and it was a major issue. How many of them made it to the South? If they made it to the South in like 1900 or 1890, I guess by 1920s or 1930s, they could be pretty assimilated. But yeah, I don't know if this was actually realistic. It was probably
Well,
statistically rare.
one thing that was interesting, they had 2 stores kind of on opposite sides of the street,
Yes.
and so the Asian husband operated one store on one side, and then the Asian wife, ran the store on the other side of the street, and the, husband, he dealt with the black, customers, and then the wife dealt with the white
Yeah,
customers,
I didn't catch
and
that. Yeah, yeah,
and I
that's
wondered why, like, why they decided to do that, if there was any kind of reasoning there. Was
yeah.
that sort of implicit? Was that a commentary on the implicit racism of Asian Americans that if the store might be ransacked or robbed or something, that it's better if it's the husband who is injured or
Well,
threatened versus
he could handle himself
wife?
apparently, but they did put the daughter there, in the black store too, didn't they?
Oh, did they?
I
With the yeah, with her father.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Okay, so maybe that was also to maybe offset any accusations of racism one way or the other. No, that makes sense.
yeah, yeah, so, like, why do you like, so I know why, like, Mad Walsh, like, this movie drives him up the wall because
Oh,
Mad
I didn't know
Walsh.
that it did. What'd he
Oh, no,
say?
it was a big maybe you're lucky, your feed's not giving you Matt Walsh all the time, but I'm getting his takes are just, he's just kinda hysterical all the time on everything, and, yeah, I mean, just, "This is woke, this is them shoving it down our face," but okay, so it does you can see that. I don't care, like, I'm beyond the point of my life where I'd be like, "This is woke," and, like, I'm gonna be angry. I could just enjoy the film. Uh, yeah, but yeah, but okay, because it's like the blacks are having their society. Then the whites are like vampires. White people, when they do business with them, they sell you something. It was kind of, it's just too stupid to get like taken too seriously. But it's like, why was the Klan killing them all? Like they were just like, we're gonna get all the blacks in there, and they're gonna have a party, and we're gonna have like, this is gonna be spoilers, everyone. There's gonna be a slaughterhouse, but like the goal seemed to be just to get as many blacks possible to kill them, which like did not happen in like the 1920s and 30s, if it ever happened. I don't think that ever happened in American history. There were like lynchings if someone like accused of a crime. They were never like, let's just round up as many blacks as possible and then kill them. That's not how that's not how the racism worked. But you got that. And then yeah, you have like the Native Americans, you have like diversity. Like the Native Americans are like, they have some secret like Indian magic that allows them to know like somebody's a zombie. Uh and then you have like, yeah, the blacks, and then the whites are the vampires. But I thought was, very interesting. It's like what do the zombies tell them when they try to get the black people in the club to join them? It's like, we come to us, there's going to be no color, we're going to live forever, and we're going to be, none of this stuff is going to matter. So it's kind of like, it's like the vampires are like liberals. They're like, come here, we have like these sweet words for you. And
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? It made me think of, did you see Get Out?
no, I didn't see. I
Yeah,
read
I
reviews.
mean,
I thought it's
it's
so
basically
stupid.
like the bad guys in Get Out are like center left liberals, like colorblind liberals, and like
Yeah.
one of the, I guess, implicit messages of Get Out is like, even these like nice liberal white people are evil and racist in their own way too, and that was kind of what I was getting from this. Yeah, we're all going to be vampires, we're all going to be equal,
But
but
there
actually,
were no nice white people there, right? They were clans. The guy was a Klansman, um, and the people he went to, his house he went to, I think they were. Were they also Klansmen too, or was it just he was the Klansman, the guy who ran away? The
Well,
guy's name
he
was
wasn't, but that's the point though, Richard. Like in Get Out, they're not nice either. Like they portray that, oh, we're nice white people. Like we voted for Obama, we would have voted for him a third time. There was that famous scene from Get Out. But then this one too, it's like they're representing themselves as, come be a vampire with us. We'll all be the same. There is no color among us. But that's just the sort of lie that they give you in order to convert you, or to turn you
yeah,
into one of
yeah,
them,
yeah.
to
So it
suck your
sounds
blood, to drain you of your life.
Yeah, sounds similar. Yeah, and the funny thing is that they had the Irish. That this is why it's like a feel good movie. It's like every they want to check every box. It's like we have Asians, we have Native Americans. They need to do this. The Invention of White. What was that book? The how the Irish became white. It's like the Irish guy is also like he's in the Klan, but also he tries to baptize Samuel, and he's like, yeah, it looks like they took from you, they took from me, and they're all. I love that scene where they're all doing that like Irish jig or something, and like they're all the blacks and like as zombies are like dancing around to try to like call the people out. That was funny. It was just like it kind of like they made like an Irish guy just to like make it as diverse. Like they gave the white people something, right? Like the white people, the white audience could be like, yeah, here's a white guy who looks like us, and he's also
Yeah.
like suffered oppression. He's part of the story too.
Yeah. Well, they also adhered to the one drop rule with Mary, the Haley Steinfeld character, where she said, and I looked this up. I looked up the actress Haley
Yeah.
Steinfeld. So she, on her mother's side, I think it was her mom's father, was like Filipino and black or something. And
Mm.
so she is like 1/8 black, and she also said this in the
She was
film
one.
too.
She was one quarter in the movie, I think.
Oh, was it 1/4?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think she said her grandpa or
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
Yeah, and so she, she was able to pass on both sides. She was like Blade, the Daywalker. She could pass among the whites, but also among the people of color as well.
yeah.
Although there were some interesting scenes there, right, where the white people were trying to get in, and they said, "Well, what's she doing there?" And
Uh,
then one of the black women says, "Well, she's family, so she can stay with us."
yeah.
Um, so, but yeah, I mean, it was like a very overt like whites versus non-whites.
Y
Uh, with
yeah.
because even the Irish guy, right? Like I thought maybe they were gonna do something interesting with him, where like maybe he was also similar to Haley Steinfeld, where like, yeah, he's white, but he's still kind of a an outsider, immigrant, not really an American or something, but even he was he was one of the white bad guys.
Yeah, he was a white bad guy, but he was also oppressed, like, he had some kind of, street cred, yeah, um, so it's uh yeah, the other scene with Mary was when they first see her in the, like, train station, when they're like, "Oh,